I got an American woman. Spell it for me. M-E-R-I-C-A. Got a mess in my mind. American woman, she mess your mind. American woman, gonna mess your mind. Guess who? Hangover. Big concert in Halifax, May 27th on Wednesday night. Past. Now, I got no volume here because someone put that up and you can't see it, I'm sure. You can hardly hear it too because there's no volume on an iPad. But it was an it was a monumental, epic, like, eventful, memorable. There's not enough adjectives to describe how incredible they were for their ages. Burton Cummings, 78, Randy Bachman at 81, I think he soon turned 82, but they're about 3.5 years apart. But they are rock legends. They are Canadian Beatles. You know, they did it first. They paved the way. And in 1969, 70, they outsold the Beatles, the Doors, the Stones, and Creedence. They had the highest record sales in the world, the biggest band on planet Earth. Yes, the Guess Who, when they had a question mark and took it away after their first international big hit in the top 20 around the world, and then Billboard for Shaking All Over. It's the only song they never wrote, and they didn't play it. But they played my son's two favorite songs, No Time and Guns, Guns, Guns. But the last 5 songs they did, everybody stood in the Metro Center in Halifax. It was packed. I don't think I've ever seen a crowd that big in the Metro Center. And the Guess Who were totally live, unlike Don Felder for the Eagles. The Eagles are always notorious for lip syncing. I don't think he was even singing lead live. But the Guess Who, all their vocals, all their harmony, all the instrumentation, totally live. There are legends, rock legends, world famous. Burton Cummings, Randy Bachman of the Guess Who, worldwide, world famous. And there'll never be any two like them. And there'll never be a band like them that do what they did. From 1969 now to like 2026 presently, they have actually sold 60 million records worldwide. They are Canadian Beatles. They're the greatest Canadian band ever, and they were really honored. And they put on a show like you wouldn't believe. It was epic. Everybody just, the reviews. Q104 did a big thing on them the next morning. Yeah, they went to the concert, did a big thing on Facebook's on them, and then we're playing all kinds of Guess Who, American Woman, No Sugar, Tonight in New Mother Nature. Man, they do a job of that. Every song they did was like an event. They were on the money, man. They were unbelievable live, real live. They're my idols growing up. I took my brother. We formed a band because of them. We idolized them. Anyway, what a memory, and I'm still a bit, tired in a way because I didn't sleep. I don't think I got to bed at 2:30 because I was so excited from the concert. But anyway, I just wanted to give them a tribute. They're fantastic. Here we go. Ooh. 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 What a way to start my show, though, in a way, because I know, look, I wish I could probably, my Chromecast, I probably could have put that up in the monitor. But anyway, I just wanted to, share the land, right? That was their encore and them taking care of business. They did about 1 hour and 50 minutes. Don Henley from the Eagles, he went on for 45. They took a half hour to get ready. And they opened with an instrumental off the American Woman album, okay? 969, The Oldest Man, and then the Proper Stranger right after it. It was a fabulous intro to their concert. And they were on the money, let me tell you. They did Proper Stranger and the instrumental off the American Woman album, 969, The Oldest Man, fabulously. It was incredible. And Proper Stranger was the flip side of No Time. It was actually going to be the A side, but they changed it. No Time, the A side, Proper Stranger to the B side. But anyway, and then they come right at you with Hand Me Down World. Man, they did some job on every song. Albert Flasher, Clapful of Wolfman, you name it. You need a classic Guess Who, Laughing, Undone, These Eyes, Unbelievable. Like, they just kept coming at you, like one after another. Randy Bachman did, of course, Taking Care of Business, about 80% of it was written in the Guess Who. Just the famous middle chorus, Taking Care of Business, the only thing he didn't have. They did Share the Land and Taking Care of Business for their encores. It was epic. Like, they were standing on the floor, 5 straight songs. And everybody had their phone lights on at Share the Land. It was emotional, let me tell you. People were crying. They were fantastic. What a light show they had in the sound system, and totally live. They always were totally authentic, totally live. There are to me, are my Canadian musical heroes, and they're still famous around the world and still being played around the world too. And thanks for Q104 in Halifax for doing the thing they did for them, the big tribute for them. And then the next morning when they were playing them, and in their Facebook they had all kinds of video shots of pieces of their concert and lots of photos. It was fantastic. Anyway, that's it. I'm glad I did that though. Now what I want to do is I haven't been back for a long time, and the weather's been absolutely horrible here. 9 degrees, imagine, almost the end of May, and I've had a really bad right after the concert, thank God, because of the weather. It was freezing. I mean, there was lineups outside, but the door's supposed to open at 6:30. We couldn't get in. We couldn't get in. There were so many people. Like I said, I don't think I've ever seen a crowd that big in the Metro Center in Halifax. They were right to the top row. I mean, it was unbelievable. What a show, and what a concert, and what a fantastic crowd, electrifying crowd, and they were into it. Biggest crowd, like I said, I've ever seen in the Metro Center. But anyway, they deserve it. They deserve it. People were blown away. So here I am. I'm back, and I'm back. This is Spider. I'm hurting a little bit today because I have a fibromyalgia attack, a bad one for the last 2 days. And I said I've had the setup and wanting to do this. I told my son like last Thursday, and I've been wanting to come back. You probably wonder what happened to me. Did I die and go to heaven? Not yet, but I'm hoping I'm going to be around a little longer for you. But anyway, like I said, I take an hour and a half. This is totally authentic. There's no fake green card here. Okay, so here I am. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 sessions. Okay, I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about this session, which I'm going to introduce in a few seconds. And then I'm going to talk about what's been going on with Stadium Talk in Halifax and this big proposal for $1.5 billion proposal with the stadium at the Halifax Airport. Give you the real facts on that, and also an update on Quebec City, which is 780,000, 750,000 people, and now all of a sudden they want a CFL team. Okay, so let's talk about that, and talk also about Commissioner Johnston's new Bell deal, TV deal, and also a streaming partner, DAZN, I think that's the name of it, and then YouTube. And it's a big deal, $500 million deal over 6 years. Let's talk about that, and let's talk about the stadium situation in Halifax. And right now, what I want to talk about is what all these rule changes, and also the new CFL. I'm talking about major changes. Okay, next year. Okay, 27. They did the 35 clock in the preseason. Okay. Which is basically an NFL clock, by the way, and that's what it is, okay, from a 20-second clock, with the last 3 minutes to keep the 20-second clock, but that'll be changed. I can guarantee you that'll be changed, because they're Americanizing their game. I'm sorry, Commissioner Johnston, you are. That was unique to our game, the 20-second clock. You don't take away something historical like that, and there'll be less plays, there has to be. 35-second clock versus 20, there's got to be less plays. So also, the Rouge thing of kicking the field goal through and getting a point, and now not getting a point, basically, in a nutshell, I'm fine with that, okay? And of course, teams on either side of CFL field, yes, it never should have been two teams on both sides. It caused a big fight, possibly, a big, outburst, big fight, and there's been issues. Anyway, here's the problem I have. And I sent an email recently, about 3 weeks ago or so, to Commissioner Johnston, and outline what I really believe has to happen with the CFL, for the CFL to prosper and grow their fan base and grow their league and grow revenue, okay? So I went over all the steps. I'm going to go over that quickly with you, what I presented to him, and of course my rule, okay? My CFL Red Zone rule, which is a game changer, okay, and a natural, tailor-made for CFL 3-down football. And it's a real winner. And that's my case I'm trying to build with him, that you don't need to change all our historical, unique, like, come on, how old are these unique CFL rules that are ours in our game, okay? Like, 100 years, I don't know. Somebody send me a comment and tell me exactly when it was a 55-yard line. I know there was a 25 in the end zone, but I think there was always a 55. So, like, this is not right. This is historical to our game, the 55-yard line. I don't like the 100-yard field with it was 65 wide. It's going to look stupid because the field's too short for the width of the field. It's simple math. And not only that, who wants an NFL arena outdoor football field, which is 100 yards? That's what I call it. And they have a 55-yard wide, which is Mickey Mouse, and they're Mickey Mouse 10-yard end zones. Now they're going to 15 as well. These are the changes: 15-yard end zone from 20, field from 110 to 100 between the goal lines, and another real big one that's been always. I mean, do the research, but we've always had the goalposts uniquely at the goal line rather than the back of the end zone like the NFL, because of special teams. Because you miss a field goal, you can run a touchdown back for a big return for, like, could be 100, 110, 120-yard field goal return on a missed field goal or on a punt. They're going to be punting in the end zone, and the field goals, of course, are going to go in the end zone. The special teams are gone. That's a unique, big part of our game. Take that away. Are you kidding me? Oh, because I think what they want to do, Johnson, and TSN's influenced Johnston a lot, is get a smaller field so they can expand into soccer fields, right? I mean, come on, Calgary. You don't even have your logo at center field because of the women's soccer team. And how many fans do they get? And how long you been paying rent at McMahon? Come on, McNeil, what's wrong with you? And your stupid uniforms. New uniforms of Calgary Stampeders. Where's the logo? Where's the brand? No name. That's what that is, no name. Your uniforms look terrible. Put your Calgary Stampeder horse logo back in your shoulders. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? If you're going to make a change, then what's wrong with the uniforms? They were great. Last year's uniform was great. What are you doing? You ruined your uniforms. What's this no-name stuff like Toronto Argonauts? You have to have your logos on your shoulders. If you have stripes, the Tiger Cats do it. Okay? The Eskimos, I believe, do it. Well, it's the Elks, but they put EE. Like, come on, get with the program. What's wrong with these people running the sea? Yeah, every change you make's for the worse. Come on, you bunch of clowns. Really, you deserve to be called a bunch of clowns. And that really pissed me off. But let's get back on track here. Okay, these are the major changes coming. If the CFL were to adopt my rule, like I explained to Commissioner Johnston when I sent him, I did a real unbelievable proposal for him here, and what I believe needs to be done, and I believe also, I agree with Nathan Burke, you don't need any of these changes. You know what you need? You need my SPYDER CFL Red Zone rule. You know why? Because the biggest turn off and the biggest killer of our CFL 3-down game, and the data is there to prove it, is too many boring, repetitive, unappealing 2-down football stops in the red zone, resulting in more boring, predictable, distasteful, non-eventful, easy chop field goals. Guess what? With my CFL red zone rule, both of them remarkably completely gone. Now, would that be a big selling feature to sell CFL 3-down football? And not only that, the NFL unequivocally couldn't steal it because it doesn't work with 4 downs. It's naturally made for our game. You know why? Because the rule's already there. But the only time they go for it on the 3rd down in the red zone in the CFL, okay, is on the 1-yard line. That's it. They don't even go for it in the 2, 3, 4, 5, 15, 10. 10, 15, 20. Okay? So my rule basically in a nutshell, this is how simple it is. It's a rule that's already there that's not being used. Okay? But my rule is an enforcement rule. So every time a CFL team is on the 20-yard line in the red zone and they need a 3rd down, to get a 1st down, or score a touchdown, they have to play with SPYDER's super exciting CFL red zone rule and play exciting CFL 3-down football to score a touchdown. Now, if they're stopped on 3rd down and maintain possession of the ball and they're not pushed outside the red zone, they still get SPYDER's CFL red zone rule kick. But it's, again, an enforcement rule. They can't fake and go and try to get a 1st down and get a touchdown. They can't do that. It's an enforcement rule. So from the 35, you add the 7 from the 45. And it's a challenging kick, tell you the truth. But what my CFL red zone rule does, it creates an invigorating plot. And the unpredictability of it's unbelievable. And the drama is unbelievable. Because not only offensively, but also defensively, it's super exciting for, for the fans at home, with the team that has the ball and offense in the red zone, and for the fans at home when their defense is defending a team with my CFL red zone in the red zone to score a touchdown on 3rd down. Because if they stop them, they prevent a touchdown. But if they maintain possession of the ball and are not forced outside the team with the ball in offense in the red zone, in the CFL, they will get my SPYDER's CFL red zone rule kick. Okay, but if they're forced outside the red zone and 3rd down with an unbelievable defensive play, they don't get SPYDER's CFL red zone rule kick. So that's how amazing the game, both from the offensive and defensive side, how super exciting it will be, and the drama and the invigorating plot, unpredictable, invigorating plot it would create in the red zone in the CFL. It's a winner, it's a natural, it's tailor-made for a CFL 3-down game of football, and you don't need to change any of our historical unique changes. I hope Nathan Rourke, somebody send Nathan Rourke my SPYDER's CFL red zone rule video, this video. Someone send it to Nathan Rourke, because I mention him a lot. And that's the answer, my CFL red zone rule. And by the way, it'll be a bigger down the red zone, our 3rd down, than the NFL 4th down. You know why? Because 4 downs is too many downs to score a touchdown in the red zone. Too many downs. Too easy. It's a given. You know, and they have to, that little tiny end zone, 10 yards, they have to be, like they can't even take the football and move their arm all the way back, or full arc the thrower. They basically have to go like that or underhanded. It's a joke. It's a joke. And I can live with 15-yard end zones versus 20, but there'll be less touchdowns. I still think we should keep the 20-yard line in the end zone. Okay, you know, we have to keep our unique historical rules. Commissioner Johnston, what you're doing is wrong. All of them. You just might need my SPYDER's CFL red zone rule. That's all you need. And it's tailor-made. It will be the biggest new CFL rule ever adopted by the CFL and probably all professional football. And a bigger down the red zone than the 4th down. Getting back to that for a sec, because 4 downs is too many downs. Too easy. It's a given. 2 downs in the CFL, because most times when they're stopped in the red zone in the CFL, they don't go for it unless they're on the 1-yard line. So that's too few downs. But 3 downs in the red zone is the ideal, perfect number of downs to score a touchdown in the game of football. And that's what my SPYDER's CFL red zone rule will do, because it's an enforcement rule. So that's it in a nutshell. I mean, it's dynamic, it's innovative, It's full of drama. It's super exciting and super entertaining, and will be the biggest, guaranteed, and you can take it to the bank, the biggest rule ever adopted by the CFL and probably of all professional football. And it'll blow the NFL's fourth down out of the water, okay, in the red zone. And by the way, it blows the CFL's hash mark rule out of the water too, which is a total joke. My CFL red zone rule eats it for lunch. Anyway, I just want to talk in the last few 7 minutes I have about what was in my proposal to Mr. Johnston, the commissioner of CFL. Here's what I said has to be done. Number one, what you have to do, the Canadian ratio has to go. It has to go. I mean, how do all the CFL players who really want to go to the NFL more, I think so, than even the American players, because they already tried the NFL. And they're dominating the vote on the Canadian Players Association, which they have the majority of the vote. All right, so that's why, and yet they're hypocrites, because they're the first ones who want to go to the NFL, and they're doing it every year. The 9 players on the Canadian CFL draft couldn't be drafted because they're all going to the CFL. They don't even go to the combine. It's a joke. It's got to be abolished, and if it's not, okay, they got to abolish the Canadian Players Association. You can't have them controlling the CFL, okay, and dictating and handcuffing the owners and the coaches who plays. Imagine, who starts and play in the CFL? What professional league's going to survive with that kind of rule? It's old school, it's got to go. You got to allow the best available players to play at every position for entire CFL game. You got to get rid of the Canadian ratio. It's got to go, okay? Okay, the next one, okay, I talked about marketing of the CFL. You got to have better branding. I mean, the CFL logo's got to be at center field in the end zone. You got to dress it up. Cosmetics are important. You got to market your product, and definitely logos on the shoulders, okay? You know, it's ridiculous on the CFL uniforms. So the marketing, and you got to have more exposure. You got to have more exposure. The CFL has to be exposed more. They got to do more shows, radio shows and TV shows in the CFL to build up you know, for the games of the week, and have a CFL weekly show. Okay, you need the 10th team. You have to have a 10th team for an even number, either Halifax or Quebec. I'm going to talk about that. Okay, the Canadian Flag Football League. There's got to be where the referees, okay, aren't allowed to flow any more flags than 5 or 6, and I'd say 5, but if it's 6, beyond that, the control center would have to intervene and come in if it was a real penalty. But they got to keep their flags in their pockets. They can't be calling borderline calls or all these offensive, like pass interference or calls all the time. It's got to stop. It's ruining the CFL. Okay, the one-year contracts got to go. You can't have 35, 40 players every year non-committed on their contracts going to the NFL, including the quarterbacks. So all of them go in 1 year, and that's the contracts mean nothing. You can't have a league like that. You have to have more respect for your league. You can't have that 1-year contracts. There's no continuity. You can't sell merchandise. That has to be abolished. That can no longer continue. You hear me, Commissioner Johnston? Okay. I'm just thinking about what else I said needs to be done. Oh yeah, practice time. It's got to be more than only 4.5 hours a day. It's ridiculous. They're going to be paying them more money with this new big TV deal and with the streaming deal and YouTube deal, and so they have to practice longer, and they don't need a second job now because they're going to be paid pretty good money. So anyway, they have to, and that was for practice time and travel time. So they got to do, the NFL does 8 hours, they got to at least do 6 to 7 hours every day. And so the product's a lot better. With the best available players without the Canadian ratio. You can't have a Canadian ratio because a CFL player, I want Canadian players to play the best game, but only the players that want to play in the CFL and not the NFL, okay? And respect the CFL, but not because of their passport and they have no business being on the CFL field. This has got to go, okay? How are you going to promote your product and sell your game? You need the best available players playing CFL 3-down football at the highest level. Okay? So I think I covered everything, the most important points, and then my CFL Red Zone rule. I went over, I sent them the presentation again, my latest presentation. I sent them my summary. I went over some key features and benefits, and super features and benefits. How am I doing? Not bad for having a fibromyalgia attack. Okay, I haven't been back, and I'm sort of on the roll, but I need to do it because, so this is what has to happen, and I just want to say something to Commissioner Johnston. And by the way, send this to Commissioner Johnston, so you got to watch SPYDER's show, and you listen to him, okay? I know, listen, I don't hold grudges. I know when Randy Ambrosi there was this guy, I'll say his name, I think his name was Jensen. He caused me a lot of trouble. He had high ego, he was dishonest with me, and they were very disingenuous, because my CFL Red Zone rule was supposed to be, actually it was supposed to be presented to the new CFL Rules Innovation Committee. That never happened. But I'll tell you, Greg Dick is good, I talked to him at the St. Mary's Touchdown Atlantic game, and he's great. And Commissioner, I want to establish a relationship with you like I established with Mark Cohen, who was really sold my rule, and so was Greg Johnson, and the VP, Mr. McDonald. They all wanted to make part of a CFL 3-down game of football. And if Johnson wouldn't have been fired, it would have been made, because he was going to form a CFL Innovation Rules Committee, and he had people on it that was going to vote my CFL Red Zone rule, and it would be part of a CFL 3-down game of football right now. So, Mr. Johnson, you need to establish a relationship to me and show me some respect. Contact me, because who's better to tell you all about my CFL Red Zone rule than the creator, the SPYDER. Okay, with a Martini Y. So, SPYDER, here comes SPYDER CFL Red Zone rule. Needs to be adopted by the CFL. And Commissioner Johnson, you need to endorse it. SPYDER, here comes SPYDER CFL Red Zone rule. Oh, we got a little more. I don't know, I guess we're going to 28. I thought it was always 27. I thought I had a good cue at the end there. Anyway, thank you again for watching. Send me some comments, spread the news. And my SPYDER CFL Red Zone rule, get it out there. Don't worry about the knockers. There's only a very small percentage of them. They don't know anything about my rule, and they're just jealous knockers, haters, and we don't need these people. Just ignore them and brush them off, because they're not worth a second of your time. Okay, I know the mass majority of sports fans out there, the younger generation, all the NFL fans, and all the sports fans in general in Canada, you're the ones we need, and you're the ones who will be sold my SPYDER CFL Red Zone rule, I can guarantee you. Take care of yourself. All right, I'll be back. Thank you.